Alright, for some reason the game is once again not capturing. Alright, let's try this again. Game capture, specific window, Katawa Shoujo. It's crazy how, like, a lot of the indie games that, like, I download off of, like, the internet or something to play, like, when we played those horror games, I had those capture with absolutely no issue. But for some reason, I have the hardest time getting this thing to capture Steam games. Also, has that little hand always been down there? Or is that because we're going down the Rin path? Oh well. Anyways, yeah, stream is gonna be a little bit early today. Um, Today was supposed to be Persona 4, but I've really been wanting to play more of this game ever since we got further along into the story. I'm getting like, I'm invested in it now. I'm getting invested in the story, so I really want to play more of this game. I've been thinking about it literally like ever since we played it. And then later tonight, we'll do some Silent Hill F, since Silent Hill F just officially came out. But yeah, it is interesting that we got the Rin story out of all the characters. I know a lot of people were saying that, like, on your first playthrough, it's definitely best to just experience the game completely blind to see what outcome you get. And although, like, I don't mind Rin as a character, I don't know, it was just still kind of surprising that Rin was the one I got. Because thinking about it now, Act 1 is kind of, like, really short, and I'm assuming it must be, like, extremely missable to get some of the characters that you want to get. Because, like, I felt like I didn't spend, like, any time with Hanako, and she kind of just, like, flew under the radar. It is kind of crazy. Also, hello, hamster. How's it going? Alright. So anyways, the next morning, like every second Monday morning until he says otherwise, I have an appointment with the nurse. They allowed me to skip part of my first class in the morning, and I don't feel any shame in skipping the rest either. Rather than being thankful I get to miss world history, I instead feel dread when I think about these appointments. I wake up at the normal time anyways and wash myself in the bathroom. I share with Kenji, tidying myself, my sleep-deprived, or sleep-disheveled hair. Or I guess sleep-deprived would just be me. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I quickly get dressed and put my laundry in the basket. I pack up for the school day, and I have all my homework done, like usual, so I got a bit of free time now. There's no point in going to morning class for 20 minutes before I'd have to get to the nurse's office, so I lie down on my bed and read a book until it's time to go. The door to the nurse's office is open, which is unusual. I enter while knocking to announce my arrival. Looking up from his computer screen, he motions to me to take a seat with a friendly hello. I feel like he's gonna yell at me for not doing exercises. Steam wafts up from a piping hot cup of coffee on his desk. It's probably not the first today. How are you feeling on this wonderful morning, Hisao? How old am I? A little bit too old. Turning 27 in November. Oh, I'm alright, I think. It was cold yesterday because of the rain, so I woke up feeling a bit groggy. You too, huh? Quite a few kids got caught without an umbrella, So we've been spending the time hanging out mask and curing sniffles. Alright. It's test day. Give me your arm. I extend my left arm towards him, keeping my face expressionless. Wow, I need to turn my headphones down, the music is loud again. The nurse ties a rubber tourniquet around my bicep with a practiced movement and briskly goes about his business. I don't think anybody really likes getting stuck with needles, but at least I got over my distaste for them. I had to. Now I barely even twitch at a moment the thought of truth. Oh. Wow. I barely even twitch at the moment of truth. There we go. Once that's done, a blood pressure check follows, and then there's a checklist of other questionnaires to go through. The nurse nods and scribbles in my answers to questions as I give them. Alright, let's have a listen now. I unbutton my shirt and put it neatly on the back of the chair I was using while he puts on his stethoscope. I know by heart the order of places where he goes to listen to my lungs and heartbeat. I adjust my breathing to even and deep without even being asked. It's become routine now for the both of us. It's funny, this is pretty much the only time in one's life when you really concentrate on breathing and nothing else. It has always amused me. The nurse lifts the cold steel stethoscope from my chest and places it a few inches lower, listening again. The contact of the metal makes me flinch on reflex, even though I was expecting it. I don't think I'll ever get used to that either. I mean, I haven't gone to, get a checkup in a long time. But, I don't know, cold hands and, a stethoscope, I always, flinch whenever I feel those. He furrows his brow, but I can't tell if it's because he's unhappy or if he's trying to pick something specific out among the complex multitude of irregularities in my heartbeat. Is there something wrong? Please don't talk. Alright, thanks. I shut up and become more anxious. The nurse is nice, but I can't help disliking these mandatory checkups. I wonder if I'm going to end up hating all medical appointments from now on because of these. He finally lifts the circular metal plate from my chest, allowing me to talk again. Everything seems to be fine. Are you feeling alright yourself? I suppose. I was out yesterday when it was raining, and yeah, I really felt a bit under the weather in the morning. Maybe I caught a cold. Were you with Emmy? She came down with a cold too. My people told her to stay in bed for a day or two. Really? I mean, I was with her, but I didn't know she got sick. I guess it was a dumb thing after all for her to go out in the rain like that. Yeah, well, let's put that aside. Everything seems to check out for you, but remember to be careful. Of course, I really don't want to go back to the hospital. He catches something, maybe repressed terror. I don't know. In my voice and glances up from some papers he was looking at. Hey, don't worry. At this stage, it would take a huge crash in your condition to get you rehospitalized. It doesn't really reassure me, but grumbling about it to him like that won't make any difference. I quietly take my leave. Walking along the corridor from the auxiliary building to the main school building, I encounter a young female nurse coming the other way. She smiles at me when we pass by each other. The lobby is empty of people. No surprise since classes are still going on. I hear muffled sounds of discussion coming from behind the first floor classroom doors. I glance at my watch. I'd have to rush to get to my classroom in time, and I don't feel like going to class anyways, so I decide to climb up to the roof and have an extra long lunch break. Emmy promised she'd bring something for me today, but if she's sick, that's probably not going to happen. I'm not feeling hungry anyways, so it's all the same. I climb up the stairwell to the roof. This climb up to the stairwell from the roof is oddly liberating, almost like losing weight. I feel satisfied that it doesn't wind me as badly as it did the first time I came here. I push open the squeaky door at the top and step into the sunlight. The chain-link fence allows for a grand view of the treetops all the way across the gray silhouettes of downtown, further away. The dreary weather of yesterday is just now a memory. The silvery blue sky seems to be a mere arm's reach away. I forget for a moment that I'm not in a bad mood. The warmth of the sun soaks into my bones, making me drowsy and lazy instead. The bells ring for lunch, startling me back into reality. Soon afterwards, the quad below me bursts into life. Students pour out of the doors down on the ground floor, intent on enjoying lunch at the quad, and then lush gardens in this perfect weather. When I hear the door to the stairwell being pushed open, I don't bother turning to see who it is. The intruder starts coming towards me with uneven footsteps. the little river stones the roof is covered with and rattles and crunch underfoot. The footsteps stop a few feet behind me, followed by silence. I look upwards into the glowing eye of the sun, absorbing its warmth with my whole body. What are you doing? I turn around out of courtesy at her first words, to behold the slim, awkward figure of Rin. She looks very much like herself today, too. Her hair is maybe a tad messier than usual, as if she's got out of bed. She stands with her weight shifted onto one foot, looking at me with mild curiosity as I were something in a store's display window. I don't know, just spacing out, I guess. What about you? Emmy promised food. We usually eat here. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. I heard Emmy came down with a cold. Oh, I guess that makes sense. She wasn't in class. It's not that common to get a cold in June, though. You don't think she went running at the track afterwards like she did. The rain just kept going. Probably. In the rain? In the rain. That sounds like a bit too much for just keeping up a training regimen. Emmy is hard-headed one, though, so I can see her running in the downpour just because she had to. Well, that's obviously overdoing it. Probably why she came down with that cold, too. But I guess it's kinda cool. Speaking of that, I'm not feeling well either. Achoo! Rin sneezes pretty hard, failing to stop it in time. She cranes her head down to wipe her nose on her shoulder, so deciding that would be too unladylike, I pull out my handkerchief and hold it to her nose. Here, bless you. Danks. She clears her nose, and I dab the handkerchief gently on it, wiping it clean. Her nose is really cute. Oddly enough, it's probably the girliest part of Rin's face. I think I'm blushing a little too, but Rin doesn't seem to notice. Thanks. I think I might be coming up or down with something too, like I was saying. I hope not. Rin doesn't seem to be bothered about eating, so despite the lack of Emmy-provided lunch, we stay up on the rooftops. She comes over and stands next to me, right up against the fence, looking into the same abstract distance as I am. No one else seems to be coming around to intrude upon the calmness, either. It's quiet and peaceful. What does one do on a lunch break if not eat? It turns out that, between the two of us, we don't really know. Fortunately, passing time is an activity that manages itself just fine. Even though there's no conversation to fill the silence between the passing seconds, no pointless activities like cloud gazing to spend upon the minutes between now and then, time marches on relentlessly. I keep checking the time on my watch, and decides it's a dumb thing to do. Instead, I try to hold out for as long as possible before I check it again. Maybe I can hold out for 6 or 7 minutes. Rin remains silent, idly looking up from a cerulean expanse above us. I wonder why, more often than not, we don't speak much. She said that she doesn't like speaking because of her perceived difficulties with expressing herself properly. As for me, I think I just got sucked into the habit at the hospital, where I spent so much of a long stretch of time never really talking to anyone. Most of the time I feel comfortable about this quiet mood, and even when I get the feeling that I have to break the silence, it's always so difficult to come up with something to talk about when it's just Rin. She and I are on such different wavelengths that nothing seems to be on common ground. What is it that you like about the sky so much? She turns to me, her eyes dark and serious. Sky is the only thing that is perfect. I know it. You could say I'm an expert of the sky if you wanted. And I am, even if you didn't want to, a sky expert. It's always different, but it's always perfect. Also when it's different. I follow her gaze up into the boundless blue expanse, thinking of her words. Have you ever wanted to be something different? It wouldn't be so bad to be the sky. No, I mean someone else. Someone different. To go to a normal school like everyone else. Not have to worry about this stuff. What stuff? I try to find the right words for a moment, but can't manage to form a sentence that I'd be comfortable with actually using. Man, I don't really want to say it aloud. Try. I'm not so good at mind reading. Don't you ever want to not be disabled? She thinks about this and then shakes her head, frowning. That's a hard question. I don't know what to say. It's okay if you don't say anything. For some reason, I'm just so unsatisfied with who I am right now that I'm constantly thinking about stuff like that. It's pretty hard to admit, but there it is. Honestly, I feel relieved about finally saying it aloud to someone, even if it is just Rin. I think I want to be different sometimes. I've thought about changing myself lately, but it's a bit scary, like walking backwards with your eyes closed. The difficult part is to know where your toes are not pointing. I mean directions. Even if I don't do anything, I would never stay the same. It's like my old paintings. They are different than what I paint now, because I'm different. But they are still my paintings, so there's something same. That's really strange. I am different every day, but I'm still me every day. Who am I then? Is that a riddle? If you want it to be. I don't know the right answer though, so you might have to come up with it yourself. Well, it's the sky, isn't it? Going by your definition just now. I actually managed to surprise her by that. Maybe she had already forgotten about it. That's right, but I was just thinking about myself when I said that. Very strange. Could it be that I actually am the sky? I don't think that's possible. Your logic's a bit off somewheres. She looks down and shuts up, and I can see she's quickly getting over the deduction mentally, seemingly unhappy with the results she finally arrives at. Yeah, maybe I'm not the sky. Would make sense. I have a hard time knowing what kind of person I am. You're not the only one. It's like my mind is in some other place than the rest of me. Underwater? Yeah, I wonder how it got there. I have no answers, so a brief silence falls between us for a moment. I shift my gaze back to the sky above us. The last time I really paid much attention to the sky was... I guess it must have been at the hospital. I could only see a thin strip of the sky from the window of my room. If I walked up to the windows and pressed my face against the cold glass, the strip became much bigger, but not by much. The sky made me feel sad and lonely, a reminder of the world on the other side. I wonder if there's another world beyond the sky we see from up here on the school's roof as well. I can't stop comparing life at Yamaku to the hospitalization, but I really shouldn't. I'm not there anymore. The narrow sky from the window of my hospital room, the faces of the doctors, the faces of my parents, the off-white walls everywhere, Iwanako's letters, echoing the words she never said. They're things of the past now. I wish I could forget everything until now, and that time would stop completely. There would only be me, Rin, in the sky, an eternal lunch break on this rooftop, perfect, unchanging, and forever. I'm not sure if I like or hate this school. I could have gone to a normal school if I wanted, but I chose to come here. Why? I just decided I would. Kind of like a melon or plum jelly. Do you think it was a good idea? I mean, there are a lot of good things about this school, but I think there are a few bad things also. I know. I kind of collect people because they are interesting. People here really are amazing. Most of them, but not all. Some people can't take it. They hurt too much. It gets really bad sometimes, you know? They hurt. I wonder if you're like that too. I hope not. I don't like things like that. Hey, I'm not your case study. I'm not going to give up or die or something. Anyway, I meant more about this place is too distant from the real world. What's the real world? Everything out there. Real people with normal everyday lives that fit together like a puzzle. You don't think we aren't like that? Real people? Maybe we aren't. Well, no, we are. I just meant that it feels more like we're the leftover pieces. Rin thinks for a while, her almond-shaped eyes narrowing as she bites her lip a little bit, like a child. Is it hard to be disabled? Her question earns a dry chuckle from me. You tell me. You've been in this business a lot longer than I have. She thinks about that for a while. I don't really feel that disabled. I mean, I do pretty much everything differently, but it's not that hard. I can always practice more. I've started to practice food things this year. I think I'd want to learn to cook in the real kitchen someday. That's admirable, but I don't think it's just a state of mind. Maybe not to you. I have no good counter to that, so I concede by falling silent. The situation is making me more and more confused. I know what I want, but don't know how to reach it. Rin seems to believe she can simply will herself into shape. She thinks she needs to be, but can't decide whether she wants to be a bird or a butterfly. I think, in the end, I'm not really that happy with who I am either. But that doesn't mean I regret being who I am. That's the thing what's wrong with you, Hazao. I've only started to process that rather blunt statement before Rin suddenly hugs me. What are you doing? I've never been hugged by a girl with no arms before. To be honest, it doesn't really feel physically like a hug. The awkward way she presses her body against mine and the lack of embracing arms make it feel like she fell on top of me. But the warmth of a real hug is still there, and that's how I recognize it for what it is. I'm hugging you, Hisao. I know that, but... Is it wrong? I thought this is what you're supposed to do. I'm not really used to this kind of thing. The first time Emmy hugged me, I got surprised and kicked her in the stomach. I can kick pretty hard, so she hasn't been hugging me an awful lot after that. It's not wrong, no, it's just me. Things are a bit hard for me. For the time being, I can't seem to react properly to anything. Really? So, is it hard being disabled after all? I guess she has me cornered there. I don't have the energy to start arguing against it, but I feel like I have something to get out. Well, no, it's not hard. I just think it's just me overthinking things. I really wish I didn't feel so sorry for myself all the time. I wonder if I always was this fragile, or if I became this way after my incident. Nothing had ever truly shaken my world like that before, so there's no telling. Rin presses her cheek against me tightly. I can feel the warmth of her body close against me. Her body temperature feels really high, as if she had absorbed the sunlight into herself and is now sharing it with me. Or perhaps it's just a natural state for her. It's the most comforting thing I felt in a long, long time. Wow, your heartbeat really does sound weird. It's like a drunken percussion orchestra. Please don't say stuff like that. I get very uncomfortable. I laugh at her comment anyways, in an attempt to ease the tension. It sounds a little bit too forced. Man, I'm sorry I'm such a mess. It's okay. It's the best part of you. Hearing that doesn't make me happy. She breaks off the hug and settles down. An awkward silence falls upon us like a blanket. Me feeling embarrassed about myself and Rin trying to arrange expressions to something she likes. One last time I glance upwards. This rooftop is really great. It's like I'm just a little bit closer to the sky. I know a better place, but we can't go there on lunch breaks. I can take you there sometime if you want. The bell rings for the beginning of the afternoon classes, and Rin stands up to make her way downstairs. I don't hurry after her, deciding to stay up here for just a little while longer. Thanks for the hug. Thanks for not kicking me. After Rin leaves, I finally let tears roll down my cheek and cry for my condition for the first and only time in my life. And then I cast away the hollow person lying on the hospital bed forever. Damn, this game's just getting more and more depressing sometimes. I've said it before, but this game has a really good way of making you feel, like, happy and depressed at the same time. Alright, 2 days later, I'm feeling less miserable. I even go on a long, brisk, healthy walk like the nurse recommended, something which I had avoided and dodged with all sorts of excuses earlier. I feel more active in class as well, delighting our science/homeroom teacher, Mr. Mutao, with the correct and promptly delivered answers. The break right now between the 2 morning classes is short, and any sort of meaningful activity, but too long to just spend it sitting in the classroom and doing nothing. Going out into the hallway isn't much better, but flexing my stiffened muscles is a better use of time than letting them get even stiffed by staying seated. The door to the neighboring classroom opens, and the students of 3-4 emerge to further fill up the already semi-crowded hallway. It seems their teacher kept them in for just a few extra minutes. Emmy is among them. She notices me noticing her, which almost makes me look away on reflex. I don't, however, and Emmy smiles at me as happily skips towards me past the other students. Emmy looks pretty energetic, showing no signs of illness whatsoever. It seems she recovered from her cold. Hey, good morning. Nice to see you back on your feet. Feeling better now? She looks fine to me, but I still feel compelled to ask. Thanks, and yeah, I do. It was just a cold, nothing serious. Emmy laughs confidently as she empathizes her condition. I wonder for a moment what it would count as serious in Emmy's book. She seems to be eager to put the topic aside, though. Where are you going? Off to Rin's room to see if she's awake yet. Oh, she skipped a morning class? A sheepish smile emerges on Emmy's face and she gets slightly flustered. Not exactly. It seems that she caught the cold that I had. Sorry to hear that. Well, she was out in the rain on Sunday with us, after all. I saw her on Monday and she was feeling a bit under the weather back then, too. Yeah, anyway, I'll ask the nurse for some cold medicine to give her if she doesn't get better soon. She leaves for the girls' dorm. I want to go with her to wish Rin well. I want to tell her that I'm better now, too. But it doesn't feel appropriate. An unspecified feeling diverts my thoughts away. Somehow I can't just summon the resolve to go in there. Is this what Ayoniko went through when she tried to tell me what she felt? There's like a lump on my belly button or something. It's like really itchy right now. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's kind of like annoying me though. Even though I'm feeling more energetic, I'm still hesitant about going over there to talk to Rin. It's not until 2 days later on Friday that I finally gather enough courage to enter the girls' dorm. I ask the first person I meet inside for direction to Rin's room. I knock on Rin's unmarked door and wait. After a few seconds of silence, I hear something rustling inside the room. I start wondering if maybe I should have brought something for her, like a can of warm coffee or some oranges. I could have peeled them for her. Well, too late now. The door opens soundlessly. It was already unlocked, and I find myself staring at Rin, who stares back at me. She looks like she just got out of bed, with her hair all messed up, and barely any clothes on. Hello? There is a strange, stupid-looking smile on Rin's face. I'm not exactly sure why. Rin smiles so rarely that it seems to be out of place every time. Especially so now, given her partially undressed state. Said state makes me feel extremely conflicted about whether or not this was a good idea. Her cheeks are flushed rose red, contrasting with the milky pale complexion of a person who doesn't get enough sunlight. Her forehead looks sweaty, as though she might have a fever. Hi. Now what? I didn't plan anything further than this, and Rin is staring at me with those expectant eyes of hers. Something about this situation gives me very strange vibes. Her eyes are even more vacant than usual, and she seems to have a hard time focusing on anything. The lack of clothing is disturbing, but since she herself doesn't seem to be bothered, why should I be? I keep telling myself that. I thought I'd pay you a visit since you haven't been at the art club, and I wanted to talk with you and wish you well. Rin doesn't show any sign of recognizing what I just said, making me wonder if she's actually understanding my words, or if she even heard them. Maybe that's the fever making her groggy. She might have actually been sleeping before I came over. Okay. She turns on her heels and withdraws from the door, walking back inside the small room. From the doorway, I can see her walk to her bed and half fall down, half sit up, on the messy pile of bedsheets. The open doorway seems to be more of an obstacle in my mind than the closed door was, but since Rin doesn't say anything else, I step through it and into her room. Rin is on her bed leaning against the wall, leaving the only chair in the room for me. She keeps quiet even after I sit down, so maybe she meant to invite me in but just forgot to say it aloud? An implied invitation, as it were? Very exciting. No one has visited me before. The breaking of silence draws my attention from the room to its inhabitant, who currently seems to be in the middle of a very profound thought process. Actually, that was not true, about visiting, but Emmy doesn't count even if she visits. She's always pampers me too much. I think she's having too much fun. I haven't failed to notice that Rin doesn't have her shirt buttoned up, but I try to keep my eyes strictly locked on hers. It's rather evident that she's not a very body-conscious person. My own body, however, is quite conscious of hers right now. She came to wake me up 7:30 today. Can you imagine that? She pauses for a while and glances up at my dumbfounded face. On second thought, you probably can. It's not like that reverse rainbow fish I tried to imagine earlier. That was hard. Well, yes, that seems like a pretty normal time to wake up if you want to go to class in the morning. I'm trying to sound as reasonable as possible to counteract Rin's unusual annoyance. Told her to sod off. She gave me these meds and told me to take them. I follow her eyes to the night table and then to the pill bottle sitting on top of it. I pick it up and turn it around to look at the label so I can see what kind of medication Emmy brought. Active ingredients codeine? You took all of these? No. Yes, I've been eating some since there's so many of them. Seems to make this thing not so bad. Actually, I think I'm feeling just fine. Her head lolls round and round, making it look like she's either trying to stretch her neck muscles or possibly pass out. She took several of these pills. Can I be safe? At least it's bound to have some side effects, which I'm afraid I'm witnessing right now. I'm feeling just fine. I am fine. Just someone taking this buzzing away from my head. Can't think straight. The annoyed expression returns to Rin's face. It's like many of those insect things, or one really big insect though. With lots of wings. Very much color and everything. What's the word for those? Oh, never mind. I just remembered. It's butterflies. She smiles slightly at her last observation. The small pause in her monologue is long enough for me to dare saying something that could potentially, but not likely, salvage this discussion. I love butterflies. They are the best animal. Did you see any on your way here? Hesao? She utters my name as an afterthought, possibly to make clear that she is now addressing me instead of speaking her mind to whoever might be listening. This odd situation has left me speechless, more or less since the moment Rin first opened her mouth. Now that she herself doesn't seem to have anything else to add, silence fills the room. It makes me glance around again in an attempt to find something to talk about. Rin's room is about as small as mine. The big window, which takes up most of the wall furthest from the door, opens to the east just like mine. It looks very normal, which strikes me as strange. I expected something more different. About a dozen paintings, most of them in Rin's signature abstract style, and a few art posters are taking up almost all of the available wall space, but that's about the only real difference between her room and mine. The room is not exactly aesthetic. I'm assuming that's aesthetic, but it doesn't look like what I've expected from a girl's room either. A faint smell of art, of paint and paper is floating in the air. It's the same smell as the art room. Rin isn't too concerned about being tidy, it seems. Everything she owns seems to be arranged in various piles around the room. Your room looks nice. It's an empty statement, or empty sentence one uses to fill empty spaces in conversations, but my wits are failing me pretty hard right now. It is very nice that you came to see me. It makes me feel very... what's the word? You know, the one about things and stuff. Anyway, you came. Rin's rambling makes me remember that I actually came here for a reason. Hey, about what we talked about on Monday? On the rooftop, remember? Huh? Rin doesn't seem to be exactly attentive right now. Not that she ever is. I plow ahead and get it off my chest anyways. I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to be better from now on, I guess. I hate being so pathetic, so I decided I'm not going to be anymore. I guess that's all. Okay, isn't that good? The blurry words flew out of her mouth slowly and uncontrollably. I'm happy for you, I think. That's what I think. You shouldn't look so sad all the time. I mean, looking sad is fine if you're not sad, but you look sad like you actually sad. That's no good. Are you going to do some training camp where they make men out of boys or mountaintop meditation? No, I don't think so. Oh, I guess that's fine too. The sentence came out of her mouth, and probably her brain, one at a time with a small pause between each, making her gibberish hard to understand. I just think it seemed like a good idea. Maybe it's not. Rin finishes with one more line, getting to say the last word over herself, an impressive display of what can only be described as mental shadowboxing. While I'm embarrassing myself, might as well tell you that I'm sorry that I said some stupid things to you last week. It's your own business to decide what you're gonna do. She seems to not register my words at first, but then understanding lights up in her eyes and she waves her head around in a way that could be interpreted as anything. It's okay. I probably said stupid things too. It's just sometimes a bit hard to keep my thoughts the way I like them. They are not very straight, at least most of the time. Not that I want to have them straight, I just wish they were, at least in some shape. Round is fine too, but I need more definition. My thoughts are very messy. Messy. She repeats the word melancholy and flops lying down on her bed and nuzzles her head against her pillow, shutting her eyes. Enough. Tired. You should go. I'm gonna sleep again. She opens one of her eyes to look at me. Was it you who likes to look at sleeping girls or someone else? Maybe there were many of those. I can't remember. You can stay if you want. No, I'll leave. I have to do homework anyways. I stand up from the chair and take a step towards the door. Wait. Her request stops me in my tracks. Not that I intended to scoot off right away. I look over my shoulder at the girl lying on her bed, again with the strangest kind of smile on her features. She should smile more often. I can walk you to the door. It's the least a gentleman can do. Rin giggles like a little kid, making me beyond absolutely certain that she took far too much of her cold medicine today. I have always wanted to say that. Slowly and difficultly, Rin rises first to a sitting position again, then she stands up with even more difficulty, and more slowly still. Rin is standing, although barely. It looks like she has trouble keeping her usually decent balance again, probably a side effect from the medicine. She takes an uneasy step towards me, then another smaller one as she notices that it's not a good idea to try to take big steps. I feel my muscles tense as I prepare to catch Rin if she falls down. She manages to take 2 more steps before she falls against me. To my surprise, neither her downwards momentum nor our slight height difference are able to stop Rin from pressing her heart-shaped lips squarely against mine. As our lips part after a confusing moment of nothing but the taste of Rin, I look down at her, trying to find some explanation for this bewildering event. The euphoric smile of a madman broadens on Rin's lips again, and I wonder if I will remember this tomorrow. I am absolutely stumped by how to respond. Rin takes a step backwards, separating her body from mine, and making me only now realize that they were even connected in the first place. The second step is actually a fall backwards, likely straight onto her bed. The soft thud Rin's thin body makes against the mattress breaks the silence. I move quickly over to her to see if she hurt herself, only to be met with the peaceful face of dreaming. Oh, she might have narcolepsy too if she fell asleep that quickly. Rin sleeps. She's lying diagonally across the bed, somehow managing to have simultaneously fallen asleep while standing up, and fallen down in the way that she doesn't injure herself. Fool's luck. I tuck in Rin, covering her with the sheets as well as I can. She feels very light, even though I am not that strong. I stand up to look at her, the oval-shaped face, the dark eyelashes shut against the feverish cheeks, the slender body covered with pale sheets. Rin sleeps. Conflicts plural churn inside me. I think about calling a nurse to keep an eye on her, but decide against it. After taking one more glance at her peaceful face, I decide that she'll be fine. I do pocket the remaining pills, though. I exit the room and close the door soundly behind me. I exhale deeply, only now realizing I had held my breath for the better part of a minute, taking a moment to relax. I try to calm down, my heart racing like a jackrabbit. Bro's had his first kiss. Attaboy. It wasn't exactly like a lucid or a conscious kiss, but does that still count? I mean, it's not like he's the one that, like, drugged her or something, so at least it's not like a Diddy situation. Or a Bill Cosby situation. I had trouble getting to sleep that night, so the next morning finds me exceptionally groggy. I briefly consider skipping class, but remind myself that I was supposed to be a stronger person now. I get up like a good boy and put on my uniform, then make my way to the main school building without eating breakfast. I sit in my seat in classroom 3-3, waving a greeting to Misha and Shizune like I do every morning, and let the day wash over me. The afternoon classes are always longer than those in the morning. This is true regardless of whether I count it by the minutes or by the number of doodles drawn in my notebook. Today I'm especially distracted, as I keep thinking about Rin. Did I manage to properly tell her that I want to get better? Did she understand a word of what I was saying? I think about the kiss we shared and what it means. She was so out of her mind, maybe it means nothing. But we've been getting closer lately. What does it mean? I think about Rin more and more nowadays. I wonder if she thinks about me. The ringing of bells makes me flinch, and then realize that I haven't been paying attention during the latter half of that class. I look at the assortment of sketches traveling up and down the margins of my notebook, the only thing I got done in the last hour. Feeling vaguely disappointed in myself, I pack up and go to the hallway. Rin is standing right outside the door, her presence stopping me in my tracks as soon as I spot her. Her posture is relaxed as always, but I suddenly feel like I ate a crowbar. I'm having a hard time meeting her gaze. She doesn't seem to have any trouble looking at me, though, but those dark eyes of hers are making me flustered for no reason. It's hard to look straight at her, so I turn my face away a little. I don't know what one would say in this kind of situation. Then again, I rarely know what to say to Rin in any given situation. Hi. Hello. I try to get rid of the awkwardness of my voice and invoke a more natural way of speaking. I suddenly worry about where I should put my hands. It feels like they're in the way somehow. How are you feeling? You were pretty out of it yesterday. I'm okay. What do you mean yesterday? You don't remember? She tilts her head to the side like a bird, looking somewhat confused. Remember what? I have a pretty bad memory. About yesterday? What about yesterday? I came to see you and... I don't remember that kind of thing happening. She really doesn't remember? I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel disheartened at the same time. I remember that I promised to show you my place one day, though. Did that happen for real? Maybe I just think I remember that, and I really don't. No, that was real too. Okay, do you want to go? Now? Yeah. Well, sure, why not? Is it far? It's not. Together we walk downstairs and then outside. The usual sunny day, whirring cicadas and all, greet us. It's immensely hot, and without the air conditioning the classrooms offer, I start sweating immediately. We start along the tree-lined path that leads towards the dorms. The cherry trees offer shade with the sunlight blinking through the holes in the canopy. The lake creates a chaotic pattern of shadows, dappled with bright places where the beams hit the pavement. Rin's eyes are wandering in every direction but mine. I get the feeling that it's intentional. She leads me to the back gate once again, taking us through it and into the forest beyond. As before, the dropping temperature and the drastically reduced levels of light make it feel like the forest is swallowing us into a cavernous belly. We head uphill along the same path as last time, snaking around trees and boulders, over roots and rocks, past wild undergrowth. Birds sing somewhere in the woods, soloists for the humming background of the treetops. We go past a small clearing with the big maple that is now called the worry tree. The climb steepens, then becomes easier again. I have to stop a few times to catch my breath, then hurry after Rin, who doesn't stop to wait for me. Soon, I'm out of breath again. Suddenly, the trees end and we emerge from the forest. The boundary of the woods is sharp and abrupt, as though a line had been drawn to mark it. The hill continues to climb up a little further ahead, but from here to the top of its rocky metal patches of grass and small bushes that look like they are growing straight from the rock. We soon reach the highest point with the forest behind us and the view to every direction opening in front of me. Oh, I didn't want to press that. The city lies far below and away, lazily raveling in the quiet afternoon mood. You can see pretty far from here, and the vista is beautiful. I wonder how high up we are. I breathe the fresh air and feel my heart rate slowly going back down. I think I might have overdone it a bit. A higher pulse is dangerous for me. I'm feeling fine right now, though. The wind picks up, ruffling my hair and causing the trees below us to sway. It makes the grass undiluted in waves as the breeze sweeps across the hilltop. Sun shines from the open skies upon us, a few clouds passing by to shadow it. What was painful heat before is now gentle warmth. I take a good look around. The hilltop is pretty in the way nature is off. I feel like I said that wrong. I take a look around. The hilltop is pretty in the way nature is often. Unplanned harmony found in the natural arrangement of things. Okay, so I didn't say that wrong. It just sounded weird coming out. The most striking feature is the abundance of small yellow flowers. They're literally everywhere in this small meadow. I can't help commenting on it. Wow, a lot of flowers. Yeah, do you know this kind? They will fly away. Yeah, dandelions. There are not many of them at school because they cut the grass so often. No one cuts grass up here, though. The fragile-looking flowers will soon turn white and fluffy like cotton, and the wind will carry away their seeds. I crouch down to look at one tiny flower, silently basking in the sunlight. There's not a hint of white yet, so it's still waiting for its time to be fulfilled. I brush my finger against the delicate yellow petals. Wow, I'm like having a hard time speak today. Feel the soft texture of my fingertips. It feels nostalgic somehow. I hear Rin approaching from behind and stand back to her to face her. She has a weird look on her face. Something on your mind? I don't know, it's just... You just look so sad all the time and became upset so easily, and it makes me confused, and I really don't remember much about yesterday except that you came to my room, and that's why it might be because of me. So if it's because of me, I think I know why. It's because people don't really like talking to me, and you might be the same, and that would be sad. I know that people, when I'm talking about others, and Emmy too, always says that. I'm strange, and that I talk strange things, so I thought I tried not to say strange things, but that just makes me think more and new and strange and colorful. That was not a good word, but maybe you understand anyways. The odd things, so if I want to say something, I don't really know how, and then the words are not the same as the thoughts because something goes wrong on the way out, but it's not like the thoughts are really the thing I should be saying. It's more like the idea of the thought of or the feeling of the idea, or the idea of the feeling, but it's not really any of those either because there's no words for it unless I invent a new one, which is not really useful. So I've been thinking if doing things is better than saying, so maybe yesterday I took those pills and I was feeling a little strange. I might have done something that I shouldn't. Besides, I don't even know if it would be any better if I just could say the thought. There's no telepathy. That's real telepathy, isn't there? Oh my god. Yeah, there's no way I can read all that. I grasp her shoulders and squeeze hard to make her stop. I don't have the capacity to take it all at once. Rin shuts up instantly. Take a breath. I'm not upset. Why would I be? I'm just a little confused, but it's alright. I wonder if I was making a face she doesn't like again. I guess I've been thinking about yesterday all the time. Maybe I looked weird. I wish I had a mirror with me at all times. No need to get it all said at once. I'll listen, even if you talk slower. It just came out. Sorry. I'm okay now. I just wanted to say something. I didn't mean that much. It's weird, isn't it? She looks at me with a surprisingly timid expression. One that I haven't seen before. I can't help but laugh a little. Yeah, it's weird. You're a pretty weird person, but there's nothing wrong with that. Thanks for being worried about me. But I'm going to get better. I told you that yesterday, but I guess you don't remember that either. I don't. I wonder what else I forgot. Hopefully nothing important like my own name. That'd be terrible. Well, you kissed me. I did? Yeah, you did. On the lips. I try to sound as matter-of-fact as I can, but I worry that I might be blushing again. Did you kick me? No, why would I do that? Oh, shit. I keep pressing this by accident. Then it's all good, right? It's okay, right? I didn't forget my name? Yeah, it's okay. I wish I was more suave so that I could come up with a better follow-up to that. But nothing comes to mind. It's a good thing that Rin has more to say. It makes me feel relieved somehow. I think I should say sorry. I'm really bad with people. Some things are hard to understand, like jellyfish. Do you understand jellyfish? I guess not. People are like jellyfish to me. I don't understand. Now it's her turn to make a face I don't really like seeing. I've never really had friends. What about me? Nah, I'm your friend, for one. I mean, think about it. We already talk a lot to each other, and we've gotten upset at each other, and then forgiven the other for it. That's what they call friendship. It's really nice of you to say that. I have always been able to tell everything up to pencils and paints and paper. They are my best friends. It is harder with people. I have to use words. That is hard for me. Yeah, I know. You told me about how you forget. Rin nods at me wordlessly, and I dare to attempt showing her a little, encouraging smile. I hope I do it properly. She doesn't reply in any way. I feel really glad. The distance Rin puts between herself and everything else has made me feel really uneasy ever since I met her. If we become real friends, I'm sure I could understand her more. I'm sure that this way, we can close the gap of understanding between us. My thoughts don't transmit to Rin. She seems lost, deep in thought, wandering amidst the sea of yellow flowers covering the grassy hilltop. It's just as well. Time passes, the breeze making the taller grass sway gently in time with the wind. Rin hums a little song to herself so quietly that I can't tell what it is, if it's even anything at all. A stronger gust sweeps over the hilltop, and the sounds of the trees and the wind buries the song away. I check my watch, more out of habit, more than anything else. It's about 4:30 right now, on this Saturday afternoon. Rin looks into the distant horizon with that odd, blank stare of hers, as if she were looking at nothing at all. Her pupils are dark and quiet, like a pair of deep, still ponds. You're going to become better, right? Sure. Me too. You know, I'm gonna talk to that friend of the teacher's and ask her to put my stuff in her place, and work hard to get all that done. I decided just now, but I think I knew it all along. I've had this feeling for a long time now that I am going to change. Even if I hate it and don't want it, even if I wanted to, I would change. Like, I am not enough the way I am. I think this could be a good way to do it because it's like a straight line. Like, I've learned all the things in life so far just before this. It's just art, and it's the only thing I really know. I know what I'm going to do, so it's good. I'm not afraid at all. I feel like I always do. Is that weird? No, not at all. I close my eyes and give in to the irresistible sensation that has been growing inside me all week. I float up towards the surface of my own life. The pressure of being underwater slowly diminishes, and the weightless sensation becomes stronger. I break the surface of the water, lifting my head into the sunlight and inhale deeply, breathing in fresh air as if it were the first time in a long, long while. My lungs fill with oxygen, and I open my eyes to see Rin's peaceful, determined face. We walk down the slope carefully and slowly to avoid falling down, Rin in the lead, and me in a few steps behind. Rin surely can do this. Even if she can't, she's going to pull through. I'm sure that I can keep my head above water too from now on. The sun sets behind our backs, setting the world ablaze in its orange glow. I keep watching the back of the red-headed girl descending the path a few steps ahead of me. If it's only this much, this distance between us is definitely within my reach. Act 3, Distance. Oh wow, we're on a whole nother act now. I think there's 4 or 5 acts in totals. I asked you a question, Neki. I shake my head to fend off the dizziness, or the dazedness, the teacher looking at me, as if everyone else in class. Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What's the distance between... Never mind, different question. Why are you here in this class? To, learn about physics? Yes, well, no, but that's the answer I wanted to hear. To acquire knowledge is a secondary reason for being in school. The primary one is to learn the rules of society, the norms and ethics that govern your everyday life. You don't come to school for classes, you come to interact with the other people there, your classmates who are your equals and the teacher who are your superiors. You learn how to form social contacts and maintain them. In other words, how to be a part of society. The school itself is a microcosm of the entire society. Locke was the one who realized that, School's not just a place for learning, and of all the kids your age, you guys should know better than anyone else. He pauses for a moment and lets his eyes sweep over the class to see if the message sank in. At the very least, it shuts everyone up and got them to focus on him, captivated either by his voice or the sudden change of topics from physics to philosophy of education. However, my classes, as you so aptly put, are a place for learning about physics. He points at me with a piece of chalk he's holding. So, no sleeping during class. Got it, Nikki? Yes, sir. From the corner of my eye, I catch Shizune's scowl, and Misha barely contains a giggle. I sink deeper into my seat. After classes end, I'm the last one to leave the classroom. I close the door behind me and quietly make my way to the art room. Club time passes in relative peace and quiet. I sit in my usual seat next to Rin, but she doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood. She's even more distant than usual. Today we are going to draw still life, and get to choose from either a vase full of fake flowers or an arrangement of rocks, sticks, and canvas. The teacher encourages us to gather around the preferred motif, emphasizing perspective, texture, and lighting as the key points of this exercise. I look at Rin to see if she prefers one of the subjects over the other, but she just tilts her head, significantly nothing. Or signifying nothing. I don't know why I thought that was a completely different word. The club members quickly shuffle their chairs around the classroom to get closer to either the vase or the clutter. Rin and I both pick the flower vase, but only one of us seems to do any work. She's ignoring Namaya's assignment just like she suddenly started ignoring me, and has begun doodling something idly with her foot, not really even looking at what she's drawing. I try to catch her gaze, but she's looking out the window. It's making me uneasy. Rin almost looks like she's asleep with the way that she's leaning back in the chair, with her legs resting easily on the desk. She's now completely given up on the drawing. The more I try to relax, ignore her, and just be myself, the more it feels like I should ask if something's wrong. After club activities are over and the others have filed out, Rin gets up from her seat and marches over to Nomaya with an unusual determination. I will do it. Nomaya, who was humming to himself while sorting a box of pencils by hardness, turns around with a mixed expression of friendliness and incomprehension on his face. What will you do, my girl? The gallery person. I can talk to that person. At least yesterday I could, I thought. Or I thought I could. And today, too. I think I want to try it. I'm gonna go all the way. The widest smile I've ever seen on any person's face lights up the teacher's features. He is almost literally beaming. Oh, wonderful. I had almost lost hope. Such a hard-headed girl you are, but I knew sooner or later you understand as well. I will call my good friend, Sayonji, I think is what it is, and arrange a meeting. You'll need to show her your work so you can estimate it. I've told her about you, but obviously you should talk face to face. This is so exciting, isn't it? Nomaya is talking more to himself than us, and walking in circles around his desk, waving his hands around wildly. Also, why the fuck is his tongue out like that? This dude does really give me, like, really bad creeper vibes. He picks up his cell phone from the breast pocket of his jacket and flips it open with a stylish movement, starting to look for the number to call. While he searches, he notices me staring and gives me a beaming thumbs up. I shrug back at him, doing my best not to look smug. Nomaya finds the number and makes the call, turning away from us and lowering his voice once it goes through. Even so, I can hear his excited tone. The call doesn't last long. Fabulous. Sai is at the gallery right now, and she said we could stop by right away if that's fine. This is most excellent. Do you have some kind of portfolio to show Rin? She just shakes her head at the question. Never fear, I've taken some photos of your painting. We can bring those and maybe a couple originals with us. Those will be quite sufficient for now. There should be some recent ones around here in the back, right? He pulls out a folder full of photos out of the desk drawer and charges towards the back where there's a small storage room and extra cabinets for all the materials and tools the art classes and clubs use. He soon finds what he is looking for and crudely wraps 2 of Rin's paintings in some brown paper bags. Naki, would you carry these to the car? I pick up the 2 oil paintings. They are heavy, but they do make navigation somewhat cumbersome as I follow Nomaya and Rin to the parking lot. Nomaya has a pretty nice car, now something I expect a high school teacher to drive. I wonder what kind of salaries they earn at Yamaku. The canvases are stuffed into the trunk where they just barely fit. At the teacher's over-enthusiasm prompting, I get in the car along with them. Rin answers my questioning stare with a confirming nod and nonchalant shrug. God damn it. I'm having so much trouble reading today. And then I guess it is kind of bad to do one of these streams kind of like back to back, because I did this on Tuesday and now I'm doing it again. I've only had like one break in between from doing the reading streams. I guess I become some sort of assistant to her now. Well, yeah, because she doesn't have arms. I mean, I kind of have to. Nomaya doesn't go light on the pedal. The smooth ride takes just about 10 minutes to bring us to the city center, where we pull into a tiny parking lot and get out of the car. I pick up the paintings again, looking around. It's just like any city in Japan, really. Same style of buildings, people hurrying here and there, office workers sweating in their suits in the summer heat. Wide, tree-lined streets aren't usually something you see everywhere, though. Maybe they are the city's specialty. It definitely has that feel of a city which I thought had already been forgotten. I feel immediately comfortable walking around. I haven't actually been here before. No, in that case, it's about time. It's a great city, lots of wonderful folk around here, and most important of all, a vibrant cultural life. Ah, Sai's place is just around the corner. After turning around 3 more corners, Nomaya stops in front of a door. There is a nameplate in big red letters over it, 22nd corner. Is this really the 22nd corner? Of what? That's bothering me too. I mean, where did it start counting and which way do you count? Rin gets worked up over the strangest things. Unlike me, Nomaya ignores her completely and pushes the door open. The gallery is very clean looking, and the air conditioning makes it cool and very comfortable. The white walls and the big windows facing onto the busy street make the whole place feel airy and bright. There's nobody around whom I can see, however. Most of the floor space is empty, with only a few large tables and a counter for furniture. Or a corner for furniture. No, wait, it did say counter. I just looked back at stream and it did say counter. There are paintings too, of course. A poster advertises an exhibit for an artist I've never heard of. Most of his work seems to be portraits or landscapes done in a more traditional style than Rin's abstract. Summoned by the bell on the door, a lady who looks around, Nomaya's age, comes from around the corner. She's dressed in a sharp suit, her straight dark hair and a perfect ponytail behind her head. A pair of flashy, expensive-looking glasses frame her eyes. On second glance, I'm not so sure of her age anymore. She looks old, and yet not actually old. Sai, hello. She clearly recognizes the teacher, greeting him warmly. Oh, there you are, Shinjiki, and so quickly. I take it that these two are your students? Indeed. Let me introduce you. This is Rin Tazuka, the one I spoke to you about, and the healthy-looking lad over there is Sasao Naki. She takes a long, hard look at the both of us, especially Rin. It feels like we're being, elevated? No. Evaluated, there we go. Man, my brain is not braining today. That a worth of some extract kind is being calculated for us. Her eyes linger for a long time on Rin. On her eyes, her empty sleeves tied in the knots, her posture. Sai takes her first impression of Rin with an intensity I've not seen used by anyone else before. Once finished, she smiles. Pleased to meet you both. My name is Sai Sionji, and I'm the owner of this gallery. Could I maybe offer you some tea? Oh no, thank you. We're fine. Let's get down to business. I lay the paintings on the tabletop to give the gallery owner a better view, and Nomaya puts out his folder of photos. The old lady studies Rin's work carefully, absent-mindedly brushing her cheek with her fingers while letting her gaze sweep over the paintings. Her eyes remind me of a bird of prey of sorts. They're so sharp and somewhat very calculating. She takes her time, slowly going over the paintings in order, without uttering a single word. Even the teacher looks very nervous. He tries to point out certain details and other things about Rin's work, but it seems like she's not listening. While Nomaya and I keep looking at Sai, trying to look for some hint of reaction on the gallery's owner's face, Rin lets her gaze wander around the gallery space. Suddenly she pipes up. Is this really the 22nd corner? Sai raises her gaze from the painting to look at Rin, but doesn't answer. It's probably for the best. She takes stock of Rin's slouchy posture and her dreamy eyes that are moving again, restlessly about. The way Rin seems to detach from a situation that's supposed to be very important for her annoys me just a little. I'm practically holding my breath here. After Sai has gone through all of Nomaya's photos and inspects the 2 oil paintings I hauled over here, she goes through all the material again, this time at a quicker pace. She finally gives her verdict. I like it. Though, if you don't mind me saying, you're still a bit immature, searching for your own direction, perhaps. She picks up one of the photos. Still, just look at this. I just can't take my eyes off of it, like a little kid and playing around. That's what your art makes me feel, young lady. Thank you, I think. No one has ever said that before, I think. That's all that Rin has to say. Something about what the gallery owner says and how she says it makes it sound patronizing to me, but I hold my tongue. Anyway, what a wonderful imagination though, isn't it? I've always said that Tazuka has great eye for composition and color harmony, and technique. Remember, all these are done with her feet. And of course, we need to put some of the simpler ones on display too, for the lay people, right, Sai? The teacher snorts. You know how these, Philistines? You know how these Philistines are. What do they understand about real art? They'd be just as lost with the abstractions of... Wow, fucking... I don't know if it's actually just like I'm having a hard time reading, or if these sentences are just like hard for me. They'd be at a loss with the abstractions and themes here. But it'll generate more publicity, and that's good, isn't it? Sai smiles gently at Omaya's remark and turns back to the paintings. I wonder. To tell you the truth, I just don't know if all of this makes an expedition. Even if I like it, I don't get the feel of the theme of Kohenshin. There's no Auvert? I don't think I've heard. No Auvert. And really, who would expect such a young artist like the kitten here? Oh, no, it's definitely doable, especially if we get a few new pieces and touch up some old ones. I don't mind painting more. I'll do anything. It's a bit of a stretch. Trust me, I wouldn't have come here if I didn't believe Tazuka was ready. You could see it too, can't you? I know exactly what her kind is capable of. And you know too. Those words give the gallerist lady a pause. A hollow, bottomless look takes over her eyes for a moment, as if she was looking through, or maybe past Nomaya. She says nothing, but her mouth becomes a tight, flat line as she stretched. As if she stretched. God, I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm, like, so stupid today. I haven't even had, like, any energy drinks, or, like, I don't even feel like I'm that hyper today. I really just don't understand. Alright, just let me catch my breath for a minute and, like, maybe take a drink. Alright, sorry. I need to take a drink, and now I'm just catching up on messages. Also, Hamster, I doubt you're still here, but in case you are, please refrain from putting your age in the chat. That is one of the chat rules that, if you are... These streams are 18 plus. If you are going to be in the stream, then maybe not mention your age at all. I don't mean that as, like, a bad thing, or that, like, I don't understand, or that I hate, like, younger kids or something. It's more or less just that, like, the streams are 18 plus, and there is a lot of swearing and, like, adult content that I say sometimes. If someone comes into my chat after seeing that it's 18 plus and doesn't read the rules, I'm assuming that means that you're either fine with what you're seeing or hearing, and that you have no problem with it. But otherwise, yeah, don't openly like say what your age is. It's both for safety thing and because of the way that my rules are. Because I don't really want people feeling singled out for being younger or getting exposed to stuff that they shouldn't be getting into at such a young age. Alright. I think I'm better, though. She says nothing, but her mouth becomes a tight, flat line, as if stretched. Finally, the moment passes. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm saying. Sai sighs and takes a few steps, walking in a circle as if to help organize her thoughts. She takes another look at a photo of a painting she particularly liked, the one that made her call Rin a kitten. She places her hand over her mouth, lost for words. After a few moments, she shakes her head. I don't know what to say. After seeing you, dear, and these paintings of yours, would you excuse us for a moment? I want to talk to your teacher in private for a bit. Sai draws the art teacher aside, and they talked in a hushed tone for a while. I can't hear what they are saying, but over her shoulder I can see the lines around the corners of her mouth tighten as she motions with her hands in time with her words. The expression on her face is... What kind of expression is it? I couldn't say. Once they're done discussing whatever they had discussed, they give one another a serious look. I feel something that goes beyond mere words transpiring there. They walk back to us. Sai looks seriously at Rin, her left hand reaching as instinctively towards a pack of cigarettes that's lying on the table. She picks up the pack and extracts one, looks at it absent-mindedly, as if only now realizing she did so, and puts it back. Finally, she locks eyes with Rin, evaluating her once more. Alright, little kitten, I'm going to believe in you. I will display your paintings in here, but from what I can see, this is not enough. You don't really have a cohesive theme, and you don't have enough of the good stuff. You're gonna have to work hard to actually get something that we can put on exhibit here. I know. It's a good thing my gallery is so small, no? Rin already spends pretty much every free waking moment she has painting. How is it possible to work any harder? She'd have to skip classes to do more than she already does, and how can anyone work that much? Silence falls in the gallery after my words. Sai looks at the art teacher, who is looking contemplatively at a star student. I look at all three of them, confused. It's doable. What do you mean? I mean, the school is special. The board puts value on things such as this. I'm sure I could arrange some leave for her. It's not unprecedented by any means. I'll discuss it with her parents too, but they've been quite supportive. However, it might be a bit of a stretch to get working space for her at the school, if she's not actually going to attend classes. Actually, I was thinking about this before. Do you use the place upstairs for anything? No, I don't. Haven't since back then. It's more like a landfill than an, Altaler now. I don't really know that words either. Upstairs. I own a small Altaler apartment on the top floor of this building, but it hasn't been in use for... Goodness, it's been so long, hasn't it? Her eyes leap to Nomaya, who has a strange, muted expression on his face. Indeed, do you think? Even Nomaya, in his brashness, has trouble coming straight out with the question. Sai, of course, sees through him and throws her hands up, sighing deeply. I guess I can't say no, can I? Very well. I'll lend you the use of the place as well, if needed. It's not like I really use it. Excellent. I knew I could count on you. Don't celebrate yet. It really is a mess, so don't be shocked when you first see it. However, you can use it as you see fit. Since it's an Alteller, it's already has easels and things like that. You'll need your own tools and materials to somehow clean it up a bit. I know I'm probably saying that wrong, but I don't feel like looking at what it means. It's not habitable, though, so I can't let you live there. I doubt your school or parents would allow that in any case. Okay. However, it's convenient to crash there overnight if necessary. I won't mind. Haha, most excellent, is it, Tazuka? He enthusiastically pat Rin on his shoulder, laughing in relief and happiness as if this good fortune landed him personally. Sai smiles as well, perhaps more amused by the old teacher's glee than anything else. Oh dear, Shinjichi. This really is like back then. Are you sure we haven't bitten off more than we can chew? She looks at Rin, who seems to be oddly subdued despite all this. I hope it'll be worth it, kitten. She holds out her hand as if to shake Rin's, but realizes that impossibility and quickly moves to pat her shoulder. Rin looks back at her silently, her eyes serious and impenetrable like the dark of the night. You know, honestly, I already don't like the sound of the two art people. I didn't like the art teacher much to begin with, but it really does feel like they're kind of forcing Rin more or less to do this. Rin applies for, and thanks to Nomiya's pressuring the principal, I'm sure is granted leave for the rest of the term for exceptional extracurricular activities. She has to make up for it during summer vacation, but it seems she doesn't mind. Rin will still be able to eat and sleep at school, of course. She just doesn't have to go to classes. I'm not entirely sure if I envy her or not. It all makes me feel anxious somehow. It's the last day of school for Rin. I feel like I should send her off with a word of encouragement, or at least say something. It was sort of due to my influence that she decided to dive headfirst into this after all. My classes ends a good 20 minutes early, so I walk down to the lobby and buy a can of juice, then sit down on a bench and wait for Rin. I pull out a novel from my bag and search for a place where I was. Time stretches comfortably over the warm afternoon while I idly sip my orange juice and read a few chapters of the book. The plot doesn't seem to advance at all, but it's all the same for me. The bell rings to the end of school day, and students shuffle to club meetings or outside. Nobody notices me sitting on the bench with my nose in a novel. I keep watch for Rin, but I don't see her familiar face or red-tinted hair passing by. I check my watch, 20 minutes past in the end of class, when the lobby has all but emptied of people again. Even Rin should have managed to get out of class, but either I missed her walking by or she never came downstairs. Perhaps she went to the art club room for some last-minute things instead, or got held back by her strict homeroom teacher. I haven't really waited that long, but having grown tired of it already, I decided to go find her myself. I stuck my book back in my bag and throw the now empty juice can in the trash bin, then climb the stairs. The hallway is eerily quiet, as there are no club rooms apart from the art room nearly. I check there first, but not even the teacher is in there. Coming back towards the stairwell, I quietly knock on door 3-4 and push the door open to peek in. Yellow sunbeams cross the classroom, falling across the floor. The dusk and chalk floating slowly in the air make the light almost palpable. The entire room bathes in the gentle light shining through the windows, washing the shadows away. Only one person is inside the classroom. Rin sits at what I assume is her seat, next to the window, in the third row. Her head rests against the desk. I wonder if she slept through it all. Apparently not even Emmy had the heart or maybe the compatibility to wake her up. I close the door quietly, walking past the neat, even rows of desks to go over to where she sits. Rin? My mouth is suddenly so dry that the words come out as a tiny whisper. She doesn't answer, so I set my bag on the floor next to hers and lean over to look at her face. Her eyes are peacefully closed, the long lashes projecting thin shadows onto her cheeks. Her mouth is slightly opened, letting me hear the quiet sound of her breathing. Her usually messy hair is even more so today, lying in complete disarray over half of her face and forehead. Her bag is lying at her feet like a forgotten rag doll. A few books and pens have fallen out near her seat. The scene makes me smile a little. I touch Rin's head lightly, swiping a few strands of hair off her ear. Her hair feels warm against my palms. Rin stirs, and I retract my hand on reflex, feeling embarrassed for touching her so casually. She looks so vulnerable, like any sleeping person, and it's impossible not to feel fondness towards her. I sit on the desktop of whoever is in front of Rin, then draw the windows slightly open to get some fresh air in. Hopefully it will wake her up and I won't need to resort to cruder methods. She doesn't wake up, but I didn't really expect her to. Looking at her makes me feel tired as well, to be honest. I wouldn't mind a quick nap either, but I content myself with leaning against the large window. The glass is warm against my ear and cheek, as these windows face west, towards the setting afternoon sun. The afternoon light is slowly melting into Rin's auburn hair, softening her outline, so that she seems to be fading into her surroundings. The minute twitches of her muscles, her hair swaying in the air's current, and the even rhythm of her breathing. It all gives a strong impression of a dreaming girl. Like all sleeping people, Rin looks like she is away from this world, in some distant dream country. With her, it doesn't feel so obvious that she would ever come back. She seems so detached from her surroundings even when she's awake. In fact, she has the same kind of air around her when the realization hits my consciousness without warning. Rin sometimes looks like that when she's painting. Her focused expression gives the same feeling of being on the other side of an imaginary gap as looking at her sleeping face does. I feel a pain in my chest. There's no way I can close the gap to be on the same level with her. It hurts, even though I know that it's impossible for any two people to truly understand each other. But Rin, she's almost literally in another world when she's talking about art, thinking about art, or making art. It's a world that I, or anyone else really, can't share with her, just like the world of dreams. Rin still doesn't show any sign of waking, so I'm faced with the decision of either rouse her myself or wait for her to awaken on her own. I choose the latter. Waiting is something I am good at. I found out that during my hospitalization, but the hospital ward was more lively than the school after classes are over. The only sound in this place are the loud ticking of the clock above the door and the distant voices of students on the ground level. A genuine summer breeze blows inside from the window I cracked open, full of warmth and carrying the scent of light. I look outside to see where it came from, but I'm dazzled almost instantly. The window glass seems to trap all sunlight within, making it painful to look that way. All I can glimpse through the windows are the dark silhouettes of the trees and the wall around the campus against the setting sun's radiance. As I turn back to watch Ren, she stirs again. A single tear worms down the corner of her eye, slowly making its way across her face before she falls onto the desk. It's tiny, barely a droplet, but it captivates me. Another tear follows the first, then the third. A feeling of anxiety overcomes me, petrifying me on the spot. It's so strange seeing Ren's face peaceful as she sleeps, at the same time as tears stream down her face, wetting the wooden desktop she rests her head on. I don't know what to do, so I do nothing and watch the tears roll down one by one. I wonder what she's dreaming about. Wind wakes up after one final flinch, or perhaps because of the tears. She sits upright and yawns excessively. It looks like her jaw might dislocate. Ah. She notices my presence, but her reaction is more like the lack of reacting at all. It's just an acknowledgement, no startled gasp or anything. Hello. Good morning. She's so groggy that she can't even return my smile that I somehow can't stretch to be entirely honest. Rin notices her wet cheeks and quickly wipes them on her shoulder. It seems she isn't all that surprised or flustered by them. You cried in your sleep. A bad dream? No, it's nothing like that. It's something I've learned to do from other people. It's a funny story. I'll tell you later. On second thought, not really that funny at all. I guess I won't tell you. Did you want something, or did you just come here to watch me sleep? I wanted to see you after class. Oh, well, it's after classes now, and I'm seeing you right here. Yeah, I just wanted to say good luck or something. I figured the upcoming weeks are gonna be a lot of work for you. Thanks. Rin yawns again and blinks a few times. I feel weird. Didn't really sleep much last night at all. Butterflies in your stomach? What? No, I mean, yes. I know what that means. Butterflies. I don't really feel so good now. It'll be fine. You are so confident. Someday it will bite you in the ear. I'll look forward to it. I think I have to go. I promised Miss Sayanji that I'd go straight there after school, and now is after school. Is it okay if I come by sometime? I'm guessing you're planning the work long hours, so if you'd prefer to avoid distractions. It's okay. It's not a distraction. Not like Emmy. Don't bring her with you, though. I wouldn't like that this time. I told her to stay away. I see. Alright then. Rin stands up and silently walks to the door without me following. The school of empty hallways, devoid of the usual crowd of students, feels very lonely. It's only a few hours since school ended, but the building seems to be all but deserted. Our footsteps are all that intrudes upon the stillness of the hallways. The change is sudden, but it shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers to liven it up. It's like the school has become a private world for just the two of us. A desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I am going to change. She says this out of the blue while we walk down the stairs from the 3rd floor, and it makes me wonder how she views this challenge that lies ahead of her. That's what people do sometimes. That's the last thing we say to each other that day, even though there's so much we could talk about. And even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as it was never said. Alright, that's a checkpoint. I'm probably actually going to stop streaming this for just right now. I literally, I can't... I'm having such a hard time reading today. So I might actually just save it here. And then, either move on to another game or something. Actually, I might just come back later tonight for, Silent Hill. I don't think I really gave myself enough time to, rest before doing another reading stream.